pretty short.
Please state your name and the municipality in which you live. You get 5 minutes.
Wow.
I am getting to that. My name is Shelley Carson. I live in the city of Erie. I live in Glenwood. I am here for a purpose, and that is to respectfully yet forcefully request your resignation.
You do not get the right to acknowledge.
Oh, I absolutely do. I am a taxpayer. I am a taxpayer. I pay a lot of taxes in this city.
You do not get to address council
So
directly.
you are an elected official. I do have the right to request your resignation. You were 100% out of line on Facebook. Granted, you want to call it your personal page. When you have that seal, you are held at a higher standard. And you do not have that standard. You sit there while everybody else is talking. I watch you tip your head and look up, down your glasses, down your nose at people. You aren't any better than me. You aren't any better than anybody sitting out here. Not one stinking person out here. How dare you? What do you know about white hoods and KKK? What do you know?
Can we call for a point of order?
Excuse me?
Order. You're not allowed to cuss in chambers, so you will be removed in the audience as well. Not during chamber. We're here to conduct business, and you guys are a distraction.
We are conducting business.
We're here to
asking
conduct
for
business,
your
and you are acting like
resignation.
children.
Your resignation.
Chuck.
We are asking for your resignation. You were out of line. You do not hold the standard that you should be holding. You are to represent everybody, every demographic, and every level of income. That is your job as the elected official. I asked the city council, you ask her to resign. You take her out of the position she has. She has fouled the entire council by her opinion and her remarks. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a great night.
My name is Don Jacobs. I'm in 16502. What's that? The hell you thought? I don't need a hat to identify. My name is Don Jacobs. It's a Jewish last name. My family was in the Holocaust. And you want to call me a Nazi or KKK member? What is wrong with you? I know what hate is like. My family experienced it. Don't you dare hide behind some bull comment that it was you made a statement on your private page. You called me a Nazi sympathizer. My family was victim to the Nazis. It's not your place. You're rude. You're ignorant. And you defended her. You defended her to me. You, sir, you use the pronouns they, them. We the people. We call for your resignation tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And she refused to apologize.
Hi there, my name is Danielle Nolan. I'm from Lake City, 16423. This is my first time here. Thank you for bringing me out tonight. I just want you to know my name, Danielle Nolan, okay? My face, remember this, please. You called me a racist. Regardless if it's your private page or not, I saw it. My children saw it, okay? My community saw it. I think we all saw it. You must have gotten your phone blown up the next day. You had to field all this bullshit coming in, which is fine. Good job for you for being a friend, but standing up for something that's wrong, you're not doing your job. That is awful of you. I'm not a racist. You're a liar. You don't deserve that seat. You don't deserve to be here. I don't know who you think you are, but remember me. You got it?
Thank you. Have a good night.
You got it? I'll see you at Wegmans. I'll see you somewhere, sweetheart.
And I'm a resident of the city of Erie. I am also a 21-year military veteran, retired as a field grade officer. The reason I'm here tonight is not only to show my support for my fellow Red Hats, who I know are not racist. In the Army, let me tell you, we were all green. And your friend here who served in the Marine Corps will tell you the same thing. We may have been different shades of green, but we were all green. And it was about mission accomplishment. It was about getting the job done, being part of a team. And what I see going on in the city of Erie right now, it's actually disgusting to me.
90%, if not more, of you Red Hat followers need to be honest with yourselves and acknowledge that white hood you all own.
Oh, he's reading her Facebook
Or
post.
were raised to own because of your sick family history. You are a racist in capital letters. And if you're a person of color, you need to stop hating yourself and find your roots, because you are lost and your assimilation is showing, and you are embarrassing the rest of us who have educated ourselves on the real American's history with all its bloodshed and slaughter for black and brown people. Wow. That red hat is the new white hoods for the KKK. Yeah, really? KKK? KKK? Wow. Seriously? My 11-year-old, really? That red hat is the new white hoods for the KKK. And I want to be wrong, but when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. Yeah. No apologies still, right? You are so proud. So proud. Hang on to that. You too, Chuck.
Thank you. Have a good night. Do we have any other citizens who would like to be heard? What? Do we have any other citizens who would like to be heard? Do we have any other citizens who would like to be heard? I'm hearing none, so we will be moving on. We are conducting business, so if you cannot conduct business, we will ask you to leave or have you removed. Security, can we have you guys get order together? They're going after the Reverend in the right, and then I have some gentlemen over here on the left.
Wow, now please listen to this report with her response at the end.
City Council President Jasmine Flores made a post on her personal Facebook page accusing 90% of Trump supporters of being racist, even comparing them to the KKK. And many local Trump supporters took offense to that comment.
I just think it's disgusting, because when she is calling people who wear red hats the KKK without actually getting to know us, without taking the time to talk to us and understand our positions, it's actually racism.
After the City Council President made some comments on Facebook comparing Trump supporters to the KKK, dozens of supporters came out to the City Council meeting tonight in their red hats, and some even wearing shirts that say "Red Hats, not White Hoods."
Well, what this is showing that, yeah, we're wearing red hats, but we are not members of the KKK. It's okay to think what you want to think and to post what you want to post, but when you're an elected county official or a city official, you're held to a much higher standard.
Some Trump supporters in attendance took to the podium for some passionate remarks for the council president, calling for her resignation. And even after public comment wrapped up, some attendees got into an altercation with security needing to get involved. But Flores stands by her Facebook comments, saying she will not be resigning from her position.
I stand by what I said. You see something, you say something. If I made them uncomfortable because of what I said, maybe you need to readdress how you guys are approaching the community at large. City of Erie voters elected me at large within city limits, and I will not disrespect them by leaving my seat. I will be running for re-election.
And Council President Flores says the behavior at the County Council chambers tonight was unacceptable.
On Trump's vow to raise tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Selena? Hey, Kana, America's top 3 trading partners are already responding to Donald Trump's latest tariff threat. The Mexican president is signaling that she's prepared to retaliate with tariffs of their own if Donald Trump moves forward with his plan. The Mexican leader also warning that tariffs would increase inflation and damage both economies. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke with Donald Trump last night and today is saying that he doesn't believe anyone wants a war with the United States. Other countries, though, have been trying to Trump-proof their economies for the last 4 years. This isn't the first time that they've seen this playbook play out, as Donald Trump has in the past used tariffs as a negotiating tool. Beijing, I've been told by experts, has been focused on diversifying and shifting their exports so they're not as reliant on the U.S. as a key trading partner. But if these tariffs did go through, this would have a sweeping effect that would touch on nearly every aspect of the U.S. economy. This could dramatically increase prices on everything from cars, electronics, toys, clothes, and oil. In fact, some economists estimate that if Donald Trump makes good on his campaign promise to increase tariffs, that it could raise the costs for the average U.S. household by more than $2,600 a year. Donald Trump says that tariffs are paid by foreign countries, but that's just not the case. What happens is that U.S. companies pay that higher tariff, that higher cost for these inputs, and then they largely pass those costs on to the American consumer. That is what we saw during the Trump administration, his first administration. That is the impact we saw from the tariffs that he put on China. And already several major U.S. companies are saying that if Trump goes forward with his tariff plan, they're going to have to increase prices. This includes Best Buy, Lowe's, and Walmart.
President-elect Trump mused about firing Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No. Do you believe that the president has the power to fire or demote you, and has the Fed determined the legality of a president demoting at will any of the other governors with leadership positions?
Not permitted under the law. Steve, first of all, he may not do it. He may just live with Powell until 2026. But could President Trump fire him?
Well, first of all, Powell has to have a lesson. The Federal Reserve is not a branch of government. It was created by Congress. It's not like the Supreme Court or a federal judge. So now, in terms of he has a term until May of 2026, but the fact of the matter is, if the president wants the Fed chair out, the Fed chair will ultimately resign. The Treasury Department has ultimate authority over the dollar, peculiarity of American law. Now, back with Harry Truman, had a real fight, Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve chairman ended up having to resign as part of a peace agreement between the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, which supposedly established Federal Reserve independence.
But what if Powell, in that case, he did resign? What if Powell says, I'm not going to?
Then he will be seen as ineffective. The Treasury Secretary will be setting dollar policy. Wow. It's an untenable position. Yeah. And it's also the height of arrogance in the sense it's not about the Fed independence. That's not the issue. It's about the models they're using on which they base their decisions, which have been universally wrong for a number of years. And that's what they should make the issue, the Fed's incompetence.
I've just been told I've been fired. What they do when they tell us, they set a time, how long we're going to be somewhere, and then what they do is they close all the roads. The Secret Service does. And if you want to lose all support for the Coast Guard, and no one will ever vote for me again, I better get the hell out of here.
Homeless veterans across the United States. And Marine veteran Kate Monroe is on a mission to help them by traveling to encampments nationwide.
Do you know that that building was built to house veterans?
Yeah, they turned me down.
And they turned you down? Why did they turn you down? When you got out of the Navy, did you transition well and then become homeless?
I just got swept under the rug or whatever.
Do you feel like you served and your country's not doing much for you right now?
Sometimes, yeah.
Wow, VetCom founder and CEO and former congressional candidate in California, Kate Monroe, joins us now. Kate, you are amazing. You're a veteran yourself. You started this company. It's incredible. You go into these encampments, dangerous areas. You said, what's happened to you when you go into these areas?
I've had drug dealers try to beat me up. I've been chased down the streets. I've had machetes pulled on me. I finally ended up having to get a body man because I was so unsafe standing on top of needles and other drugs. It's very scary, very scary work.
It's so sad. And with your experience, you have such a heart for these veterans. We all do, but you were in it with them. So why are so many veterans homeless?
So many veterans are homeless because they transition poorly from the service. We're a skill bridge company, meaning if you're an active duty service member, you can work for us while you're still active duty, and the second you get out, you will have a job. But that's not the case for the millions of people that get out of the service. So they don't have a runway, they have no money, and they have mental health challenges that no one addresses. They just sort of let you out of the service like, good luck.
So what do you do when you go in and you find a veteran that's homeless?
Well, when we find a veteran that's homeless, if we're in a city that we have partner resources, we usually bring those partner resources out on the walk with us. That way, if the person is willing to get off the street today, we can get them off the street today.
Awesome.
That's nice.
What about this administration? Has the Biden administration been helpful for you? Have we seen numbers go up or down? And what about under Trump?
Well, it was interesting. Trump's first term, it was way down, veteran homelessness, because they were really heavily leaned into the veteran community. And then when we had this migrant crisis, a lot of the VA HUD-VASH funds that are supposed to house homeless veterans ended up getting reallocated to migrants. So it went up by 12%. And I think it will go back down under this new administration.
Wow. So that money that was supposed to go to veterans went to the migrants. Correct. And that's why some of these veterans are on the street. They didn't tell that first guy why he wasn't allowed to stay in the shelter.
Well, they're not allowed to stay in the shelter because there's not enough shelters is the problem. And if you went to prison, like most of these people have gone to prison for domestic violence and things, drugs, and then they can't get in the shelter. They won't put them in these military shelters, so they continue to not get rehabilitated. They just retain their trauma for their whole life.
Well, I know you're going to be working with Washington. You're a lobbyist as well. You'll be working with Doug Collins and whoever some of these appointments, if these appointments go through, Pete Hegseth possibly. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
I want everybody to listen to this stat. 9,000 roughly per illegal immigrant that taxpayers are fronting. That's more than we spend per Medicaid beneficiary. That's more than we spend on the most vulnerable American citizen for their health care. That's more than we spend for our heroes, our veterans, in the way of military retirement benefits. So I think for everyone, this should be unacceptable. I believe it is quite avoidable, but this is the real and significant, and at the state and local levels, especially unsustainable cost of the current border crisis.